Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. I'm so excited to be here, just settling in. Welcome to week 2 for our program From Vision to Results. I am your host and coach for the next 3 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, I guess, given that we are in a week 2. Welcome to the program. If you're new here, this is a 3-week free coaching program that I am running here on my YouTube, and I am your personal change strategist for 2026. These spaces are really created for you to think through your life and really strategize in terms of what each and every single week is going to look like. So take it as a weekly reset for yourself, a free weekly reset. I don't like the fact that I am not in the middle of these two pillars over here. It's itching in my brain. But yes, a weekly reset, if you are looking to actually have a space where you can actually reset and reflect in terms of your lived experience, please do tune in every single month. There's going to be one free program that is going to be designed to us thinking through our lived experience. And you might find that each and every single month we're speaking to the same things said differently because we are trying to reach our goals. But interestingly, in Q2 of 2026, we are going to be focusing on emotional intelligence. Q3, your life story, and Q4, we're going to be thinking through and learning about everything I learned when I did my neuro-linguistic programming practitioner certification. But welcome to the program. If you are new here, please do click on that subscription button. I am here for the long haul, and I hope that I will be one of those grannies who will be creating content even in her 90s. Of this girl over here. We're currently sitting at 2.7 subscribers. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers, and every time before I come on and record my content, I pray that it makes its way to the people that need it. So you count as one of those people if you have made it this far. Thank you so much for tuning in. And how we work through the program is we're going to think through certain elements, and this week I've decided to title our program The Weekly Reset, Removing Inner Resistance. So we're going to be thinking about inner resistance that stops us from actually moving forward in terms of the goals that we've set for ourselves. This week marks the 3rd week of January 2026, and we're still on the new year high. I don't know how you're feeling. Please do leave it in the comments. How do you feel when the new year starts? Do you feel excited? Do you feel fearful? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel hopeless? Each and every one of those emotions are valid because they expose what exactly you are thinking about this year and the posture that you're holding for the year 2026. But welcome to the program. So let's get into it, right? So just as a recap for the past week, we were thinking about clarity, and this week we're really going to think about removing what is in the way of us executing and achieving our goals. And something to think about that I noted here in my notebook is to say progress isn't blocked by a lack of discipline, it's blocked by emotional resistance. And that's going to be our starting point for today. Let's think about, I actually looked up the definition of emotional resistance, and I'd like to read it for you. It says, the psychological barrier that we put up against uncomfortable feelings, new experiences, or necessary changes, acting as a self-protection mechanism stemming from fear, trauma, or desire to maintain the status quo. It's so fascinating to me how our brain works, that you can literally be terrified to start something new as a self-protection mechanism. I don't know how old I was when this became or came into my universe, I guess, of understanding, to say that you can actually be literally terrified of starting, right? I think other people would vocalize it and say, I'm scared of succeeding, but I think it's literally just the fear of starting, because it's a new experience and your brain isn't familiar with that territory. So today we're really going to be thinking through emotional resistance, and I believe that it's very important for us to think through it and think about it, given that it is the first chapter of 2026. So I decided that the editing that I did in my first video was high key giving I could have an assistant to help me do it, but we're going back to work next week. And I'm not sure if I will be able to commit to that level of editing, but I do commit to the quality of each and every video, each and every conversation. So it's going to be a full through video, no clips in them, like, the slides announcing each chapter of the video like I did last week. But what I will definitely do is to put timestamps so that you are able to just jump through the video and go to the parts that matter for you. So if you are looking to follow on, my son is up. If you are looking to follow on for the next few months or all of 2026, please do smash that subscription button. So let's get into it. For the first part, I think this video is going to be emotional intelligence heavy. So you need your journal close by. We're going to be reflecting a lot, and it might not be as long as the first video now that I think about it. So the first point of departure is reflection, and we are thinking through week 2 of 2026, and I'd want for you to really think about the past week very honestly. I love doing it for myself. Think through what I planned, I think through what happened, I think through what did the week why did the week come structured the way it was in terms of what it was there to teach me. As someone who believes in God, I do also believe that the hand of God is strongly pressed on my life. So I usually wonder, what was God trying to teach me in this particular week, right? So a few questions to help center us and think about the past week, because we're talking about emotional resistance. So we need to actually think through what didn't move last week from a very honest place, right? So think about it very honestly. There's no shame. This is a very safe space for you, for me, to think through our lived experience. So no shame, right? And be very honest as you're journaling, and feel free to pause this video and answer these 2 questions. So question number 1, what did I avoid? What did I avoid? And if you're only watching this video as the first interaction between you and me, please do pause and go back to week 1 video, because it will help you establish a bit of clarity before you begin. But what did you avoid in the past week? Be honest with yourself. This is with regards to your finances. This is regards to your emotions, your mental health, your relationships, your health, right? What did you avoid? Number 2, what felt heavier than expected? What felt heavier than expected in terms of you being execute that particular thing that you had laid out for yourself in the past week? What felt heavier to actually get it done, right? And where did you procrastinate? I actually thought there's 2 questions, but there's 3. Where did I procrastinate even though I knew what to do? Where did I procrastinate even though I knew what to do? And what this question does is it helps you think through the emotion that maybe you were scared, maybe you were overwhelmed when you thought about starting. And truly what we are thinking through in terms of this first part is to realize that you avoiding getting it done is a piece of information and not particularly a failure. As we think through the last week, as we think through the last week, you realize that, I wasn't able to actually start exercising. That's information, right? Here, emotions are information and valuable data that helps us move forward and not feel stuck. So it's not failure, but information. So you avoided it. Now we're thinking through what are we going to do differently the coming week. So let's move on to the second part of today's video. All right. So I want us to just take a little pause, a little beat, and I hope you had paused this video and gone into your journal to journal. I hope I'll be able to edit out the noise. There's something happening outside. But yeah, a little teaching moment where I want us to think through why we resist our own goals. We thought about, or I shared the terminology emotional resistance, right? And I really want us to just sit with ourselves right now to think through our lived experience. And I usually like saying in my sessions, you know yourself, you know your habits, you get to live with yourself 24/7. So when you think about resistance that is in your life, it could be your health, your emotions, finances, your relational goals, etc. Whatever area it is, you know what's not moving. You know the areas where you feel a bit stuck, and I'd want for you to be honest with yourself. In your journal, write down, Gorata, I feel stuck in this area. It's not moving, right? And something to think about as we think about resistance is to then say resistance often comes from three places: fear of success, one, fear of success, number two, fear of visibility, and number three, fear of disappointment. And when we look at, I love the definition of emotional resistance, I guess our operational definition for the day, that says new experiences can you can actually put a psychological barrier against these new experiences to act as a self-protection mechanism. Imagine protecting yourself and being fearful that it's actually going to work out. So fear of success can cause resistance. You think about how amazing it's going to be. You've thought about the positive outcome, but then you get stuck because you're scared, right? And then fear of visibility. I want to give you permission right now that you are worthy to be seen, and there is a contribution that you can make to the world. I'm going to say that again. You are worthy, and you can allow yourself to be seen because you have a contribution and something to offer the world, right? And fear of disappointment. I think this one probably you'll feel the resistance once you start, right? I feel it sometimes when I do my videos. The fear of disappointment, I think, given how the algorithm is set up, it's in terms of the metrics, the likes, the subscriber count, disappointment might come, but then you need to then sit with it and say, but this is not why you're doing it, Gorata, and you keep on doing it, right? So what you're doing is training your brain, and the mind is so beautiful. I believe in the few years to come, we're going to do a series or a program where we're thinking through everything I'm learning through neuroscience, and I am going to make time to read. We'll find a year. But their brain chooses familiarity over growth, right? So I think over time, even as I do my videos, I continue to keep the format as is because this is what I know, this is how it's been set up, right? And it works. It works for me in terms of being able to put out my videos in the same quality that I envisioned it to be, right? So what we're doing this week is creating a safety net for your nervous system, right? And what we're learning about our brain then is to then say we resist to keep ourselves in that safe place or to keep ourselves on that safety net, but we need to remove it and push through and create expansion that our vision, the vision that we have for ourselves, wants for us. Your vision wants expansion, right? Your nervous system wants safety, but we're removing the safety net one video at a time. So moving on to the third part of our video today is to think through the root emotion and identify the root emotion in terms of the goal that you are feeling stuck in, right? We've talked about resistance, and the emotion there is fear, but really think about it. Maybe you're frustrated, and I will try share as well here the list of emotions. But what is the emotion, right? Name the emotion behind the resistance? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it overwhelm? Is it guilt, right? That's the first part. And what is the story behind this fear? What is the story that you're telling yourself about doing the thing? You're scared to do it because you're not doing it because you feel that you won't be able to do it. That's doubt. Because, right? You feel overwhelmed because. So break it down and think through the story that you're telling yourself. And I'd want to encourage you to pause the video, write it down, and really be honest with yourself, right? Because you're trying to move forward this year from vision to results, starting in January. Just give me a minute. Yeah, and we're halfway through the video, right? And I love the fact that today's speaking energy is not too slow. But I'm hoping that you will be able to pause these videos and reflect for yourself, right? So moving on to the next part of our conversation today is the need to learn how to reframe and give yourself emotional permission. Give yourself emotional permission, right? And the hope for this moment is for you to release a bit of pressure, right? For you to release a bit of pressure that you may have been feeling, especially at the beginning of the year. Something that I noted here that I want to read to you, it says, we don't need confidence to act. We need permission to be uncomfortable, right? So thinking through the fear of success, the fear of visibility, I'd want to speak to someone who has been sitting with that for the past year to then say the confidence will come. I think I spoke about it in last week's video. As you find clarity will help move you forward in terms of confidence. The confidence comes as you are, right? As you are doing it. It'll catch up, right? And I want to give you permission today to allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Starting comes with a lot of fear, comes with a lot of imposter syndrome, but I want to encourage you to start in 2026. So here's a reframing exercise that you can do for yourself, right? Instead of saying, I must feel ready to start, a statement that you can adopt this week and repeat to yourself is to say, I am allowed to act while uncomfortable. I am allowed to act while I am uncomfortable. So in the past video, I had a little minute. So I'm going to take this minute as a little ad break. Did you know that I am offering a free 6-week coaching setup for anyone who's following these videos, right? So you can actually click on my booking page and you will find an option for you to get 15 minutes for 6 sessions where we can talk through the goal that you've set for yourself. So if you've made it this far, please do find the link and book the sessions for yourself so that we can sit and think through your goals for 2026. So when you get there, I'll try do a little demo video and put it here. When you get there, make sure to book 6 sessions in advance and let it be a time where you'll be available for us to be able to sit and reflect. And the best way to do it would be weekly. Just gonna pause. Okay, weekly, we're almost done. Needed in the household. Almost done. But what I want for you to do is to book 6 sessions in advance for 6 weeks so that we can sit, meet, and discuss, right? So moving on, 2 more parts and then we'll be done, right? So something to think about. This week's video is about weekly resetting and removing inner resistance. A word that I want for us to adopt is gentle action planning, an emphasis on gentle, right? Instead of pushing, you soften, right? Instead of pushing, you soften. Instead of operating from pressure, you move back into purpose this week. All right. So two things actually. Choose. I wrote quickly, so I'm trying to mash. And also, I think the fact that my husband peeked in kind of threw me. But let me take a minute, take a deep breath, and realign. Yes. So two things. Choose uncomfortable but aligned actions, right? As you're planning for your week. Choose uncomfortable but aligned actions. Personally for me, this week's focus is my health and my career. And my uncomfortable action is going to be working out every single day for 30 minutes. I haven't been doing it, so 30 minutes is a good enough time block. Number 2, make it smaller than you think it should be, right? What's the smallest version of the thing that you're avoiding, right? So maybe you've been saying, I want to run 5 kilometers. No, do 1 kilometer this week, right? Instead of running 10 kilometers, do 5 or 2 kilometers every single day, right? So make it the smallest version this week, and then next week we'll increment, right? Once you've done the 5 full days, right? And hence why I call it gentle action planning, to say what is the next small step that I need to take this particular week concerning this area of my life, right? And we're almost done. Weekly emotional contract. Let's contract. Let's sit down and in your journal, and I think you can do this exercise with ChatGPT, to say, help me draft a weekly contract concerning my goal of commitment to my health this week, right? I want to do skipping rope or whatever it is for you, but I'd want for you to create a contract, draft it, save it as a PDF, and read it every single morning before you start your day, and read it just before you go to bed. And I hope you'll ask and prompt ChatGPT to make it a very short version that you can read in a minute, correct? But the idea then is to then say you're reprogramming your mind so that when resistance show up, you will be able to respond a certain way, right? That's how you're contracting with yourself, right? So the contract is saying, this is what I'm committing to this week. When this happens, this is what I'll do, so that I'm able to accomplish the goal that I've set for myself, right? So we have come to the end of the video. So exciting. I think this is better. This is a better setup compared to last week's video, because I was literally having to pause to create each and every one of the clips, and I think that kind of created a disjointed message. But we are going to be continuing and completing the program next week, Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in to the program. If you are following, please do feel free to join my mailing list. Don't know why my voice is breaking. Feel free to join my mailing list, where I will be able to send and share promotions, programs that we have out in the year 2026. And the hope is to create a newsletter that we can share every single week on the newsletter. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope that it was useful for you, and I hope that you will make time to actually sit and apply what we've spoken about in terms of answering the questions in your journal for yourself. Otherwise, this is goodbye. It's see you later. See you next week, Monday. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm excited that I was able to record this video. Otherwise, be blessed. I pray that may God's favor locate you, and may His grace sustain you as you live out week 3 of 2026.